I'll put them in my pocket.
Nice. So Wayne, you've been a farmer in this area for what, 50 years?
No, 43 years actually farming on my own account, yeah.
And what sort of farming do you do?
Beef farming.
Beef.
Yeah.
What has happened? What are the changes you've seen over these decades?
The changes are that some of them, I don't totally disagree with all of them, but there's others that have come in that are just not necessary for us to handle.
Give us an example. Let the people in the city know how hard it is for you.
Yeah, well, basically, we don't know where it's going to stop, these changes, right? We just don't know. So we've got to assume that if they get back in power again, they're just going to introduce more regulations to just put us down, keep us tied down without doing our farm work, tending to our cattle and everything like that, like we should be doing or we have been doing all the time.
What does that mean, lots of paperwork for you?
Well, there's lots of time sitting at the desk, which is not what I want to do.
No.
Okay? I want to go around and just ship my cattle, feed them, change their areas around when they need to be fed and everything like that, yeah.
And what is stress for you? So are we talking tax returns or a lot more than that?
A bit more than that, consents to do this. There'd be even consent, I feel myself, I might be taking it a bit too far, but if I want to put a fence line in a paddock, I will have to apply for a consent to even put that fence line up.
That is ridiculous.
It's not here yet, but I can see it. The way they're going, they're just going to go on and on and on with regulations.
This is your land.
Yeah, they're dead right. As I told one politician before that about a few months ago, he said to me about this, and SNAs, when they're trying to bring in the SNAs.
Areas of natural significance, rubbish.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are there because we have left them. Like I bought my farms 40 odd years ago, and they're still there. I haven't cut them down.
No.
And if, I could have got rid of them. But I didn't, because I could see the value in them at that time.
And that's the point, that we need to trust our farmers. If there are any who are really going off track, help them. But most of our New Zealand farmers are just reasonable people who love the land and want to look after it, aren't you?
Yeah, it is. You, like anything, you've got a few mongrels around. But they're few, and they're only a few. Yes, they're not a majority.
I think the mongrels may well be in Wellington in Parliament at the moment. Why do you think they are doing this? What's your feeling as a farmer? What do you think their goal is?
This government that we got presently just want to have total control of everything.
Yeah.
Total control. It's not democracy. We've lost it. As far as I'm concerned, it is actually like a dictatorship now. Our fellas never went to the 2 world wars, to put up with this bloody crap that we've got at the moment.
Wouldn't our fathers and grandfathers be horrified at this government taking this much advantage of good Kiwis?
Like I've been a law-abiding citizen all my life. I've never had a parking ticket, a traffic ticket, or anything like that, right? No, okay, baby. No speeding tickets.
Okay.
No speeding tickets.
Very good, man.
Yeah.
You're a better man than I am.
Yeah, so I've been law-abiding all my life, but man, just lately I feel like,
Get lost, get lost.
Because I thought at this my age they can put me in jail and I couldn't give a stuff.
I think a lot of Kiwis are feeling that. I think a lot of Kiwis are feeling this now. It's like this government overreach must stop. Now here's the question. Farmers typically support national, but our understanding is national is just the other rotten wing of this rotten bird. National and ACT, that they also will follow the edicts of the United Nations and all the stuff from the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization. Are you aware of all of that? These horrible things that are coming from the globalists?
Excuse me, yeah. I'm aware that, we've got to sell our product to our consumer at the best price we can get. We've got to sort of look at what they're asking, like food security and everything like that, safety. What you call national, I feel, is the one party that I'd rather see in than Labor, if you wanted my truthful opinion.
Well, that's fine, but are you aware that they also support what is going on? That's the disillusioning thing. That's the step you have to take to realise that they too do not stand for our New Zealand farmers. That is a horrific thought for
I might
farmers.
disagree with you. Hey?
Are you aware of the,
Well, as
of
I
the
said-
Agenda 2030, the Agenda 2030 demands that are being put out? Have you looked up
No.
Agenda 2030?
No.
All right. Well, I really think you
No,
should
I
look up
haven't.
Agenda 2030
Okay.
and see what they want to roll out,
Yeah.
and have a look at the World Economic Forum. But I might put you in touch with one of our southern farmers, like Logan Evans.
Yeah,
Would that
okay.
be all right? He's
Yeah.
standing in Southland.
okay.
He's well aware of what these. These are mongrels who betray us, the people,
Yeah.
who make your life impossible,
Yeah.
and who are actually just doing theatre, political theatre. They pretend they're opposition, but they are now the same one party. They just call different names.
Oh, well, I haven't put them in that category, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put you in touch with Logan.
Okay.
All right.
All right, okay.
Really good to talk to you.
Ah,
And
good.
finally, would a 1% transaction tax work for you instead of 50%?
I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
When Michael mentioned that to me about a week, 10 days ago, how much revenue would that actually bring in for the country?
Yeah, how would we pay for roads and hospitals? you
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
So what you look at are the transactions.
Sounds good.
Yeah, the
But-
transactions of the banks alone, on our estimates, would come out at between 80 and 90 billion. That's 1% of the millions of transactions banks do every year.
Okay.
That's banks alone. Now you take the corporates, they're at 28% corporate tax rate right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So what they do is worthwhile getting very expensive and clever tax lawyers and tax accountants to avoid that tax. But when it's at 1%, they suddenly think, oh, well, might as well pay that. We're not going to pay those boys to give us advice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only 1%.
Yeah.
Suddenly our tax take is way up. Now, when you have lots of money in your pocket, or your kids do, they might start a little business. And that little business might start to employ people. And that's more money because you're not paying a whole lot out to a government. And when people in the whole community have more money in their pockets, guess what? They buy more things.
Yeah, they do.
They'll do cars. They'll do things they're not spending
Yeah.
on now. 1% of everything comes to the government, but it's only 1%. And we have more than enough money to pay for everything we need to rebuild this country.
Okay. Okay. Oh, well, very good.
You know what the big thing is?
What?
It gives freedom to the people to say to the government,
Yeah.
get lost, get
Okay.
out of my life. I'm
Yeah.
my own person.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah,
All
any
right.
other
Make a great
questions?
couple.
Don't say that.
Hey, thank you, Wayne. This was not a trap. I didn't know if you were coming or not, but you're an absolute.